with that out of the way, let's begin the lesson. Okay, so we're covering writing task 2 today. Okay, so task 2. What is task 2? Task 2 is the essay question. Okay, it's 40 minutes. Well, 40 minutes long. You should spend 40 minutes on it. Okay, and it's an essay. Okay, and the essay will be around 250 words, as you can see here. Okay, and basically, well, often you have two sides to discuss. It's either for and against, agree or disagree, and it asks you to consider both sides and then basically give your opinion. All right, so in this case it says, to what extent do you agree or disagree? Simply means, do you agree or disagree? Okay, so essentially you need to consider both sides of a debate or an argument, give your opinion at the end. All right, within 250 words. Okay, so there are other kinds of IELTS writing task 2s which you could do, but we are going to focus on this one today. Okay, so how does it work? Well, the first thing we need to do is brainstorm some ideas, don't we? Okay, so before we start writing the essay, we actually need to come up with some ideas of things to include that we might include in our text. So the first thing would be to look at the question here and focus on keywords. What are the keywords in the question, guys? All right. What are the keywords in the question? The keywords that jump out to me are obviously railways and roads. Okay, so those are the two main keywords, railways and roads. Okay, these are going to be the two sides of the argument. All right. And essentially, it's saying governments should spend money on railways rather than roads. So it's saying that it's better for governments, and it doesn't matter your government or my government, British government, Korean government. It's not talking about specific government. It's talking about in general. Should spend our taxpayers' money, our money, that's my money and your money, building roads, building railways and trains, and not roads. So it's saying essentially that railways are better than roads. Okay, railways are better than roads is how I interpret this question. Do you agree? Do you think railways, trains are better than cars? Do you think trains are better than cars? What do you think? Leave a comment. Do you prefer traveling on trains, or do you prefer traveling by car? Okay, but that's essentially, if we boil down the question, if we analyze it deeply, we can say that it's railways versus roads. All right. So in order to answer the question, okay, we need to come up with some ideas. And it's asking you, do you agree or disagree with this statement? But essentially it's saying, do you think railways or roads are better? Okay, if we cut through all of the noise. So let's start with railways. We've got to brainstorm some ideas, guys. So obviously when you do the test, the IELTS test, you may make some notes to brainstorm your ideas, or with more practice, you'll be able to do it in your head quickly before you start writing. But my suggestion is, if you have an agree or disagree style essay such as this, essentially what it's asking you is good and bad. All right. So railways are good. Can you think of any reasons why railways are good? Why are trains and railways good? Can you give me an answer, guys? Somebody can put a comment as we're watching, you can give me some ideas. I'll let you know if it's valid or not. I would like you guys to contribute to the lesson. That would be great. So remember, guys, you're watching ISP IELTS live stream, live lesson, task 2 writing lesson here, all the way from South Korea. I hope everybody's well. We've got Nitty there. Hello, Nitty. How are you doing? Nice to see you watching. Hope you're doing well. Please give a thumbs up or a like if you're watching, guys. It helps me and motivates me. Okay, so we're looking at railways and roads. So railways are good. Why are railways good? Okay, because they connect cities quickly and easily. Okay, so cities are good. Hello, Mary Jade Lopez, Judith Akpenny Doke. Sorry if I pronounce your name badly, guys, but thanks for joining. Okay, good to see you. So we're talking about railways and roads, and we're saying what's better? Should the government spend money on railways or roads? And I'm saying that railways are good. The government should spend money on railways. They're good because they connect cities quickly and easily, and also they are, I'm going to put, better for the environment. Okay, Dan Rhodes. And you feel free to disagree with me, guys. You might say, oh, no, they're not. Railways are bad for the environment. But I'm going to say in my essay that they're good for the environment, okay? And remember, when it comes to this sorts of thing, it doesn't necessarily matter what you say. It's more about how you say it. But, you know, coming up with good ideas is important. Now, bad things about railways, guys. Can you think of anything bad about railways? Trains. So trains are noisy and they're expensive to construct. So I would say that railway lines are expensive to build, right? Yeah, you have to knock down you have to make a lot of space in the countryside, and we've got Sanya. Hello, Sanya. Railway journeys are good because when you travel by train, you can do your journey while sleeping. Oh, that's a good reason. Thank you for that one. And they're a faster way to commute, says Judith. Thank you, Judith, for that one. So yeah, that would probably come under my point here, that that they connect cities quickly and easily. That would be under the commuting thing, right? So if people are commuting, then it helps them to connect to their job, between their job and their home, if they work in a different place. Okay, good. So that would be the benefits of railways for me. They connect cities and they're better for the environment. Bad things about railways and trains, they can be noisy if you live near a train line, and they're expensive for the government to build. Okay. What about roads? Let's move on to talking about roads next. Let's brainstorm some good and bad points on roads, guys. Can you think of a good thing about roads? Why are roads better than railways? Okay, so Sanya says it takes more time to cover more distances than aeroplanes. So I think maybe she's talking about railways. So let me add your point in. That's a good point. Slower than flying. Although, bear in mind, we're not comparing planes and trains. We're comparing roads and trains. So we may or may not use that point, but thanks for contributing. So good. Roads are good. Why are roads good? Roads are good because I'm going to say that they're more democratic, okay, than trains. Many people live near roads and have cars. So that means we need roads to do our, daily commute, daily shopping, whatever it might be. Whereas not that many people live near train lines, but roads, you probably have one outside your house, for example, okay? And then, what else can we say about roads that are good? Can you give me another reason, guys, why are roads better than railways? Okay, we're going to say they're going to be more, I don't know, I've capitalized that, more cars in the future. So need more roads to cope with this. Okay, so every year people are buying more and more cars. The number of cars is increasing. Therefore, we need roads more than railways to deal with this increase, which is year on year. How about bad? I'm going to open this up to you guys. I'm sure you can think of a reason why roads are bad. Can you put a comment below? And I'm going to wait because I've got a bit of a delay from my PC to the broadcast. Is 10-second delay or something. Can you give me a reason why building more roads is bad? Can you comment, please? Anybody got a good idea? Okay, Tyab CL, hello. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining, guys. All right. All right. Somebody give me a reason, guys. Why are roads bad? Like, why is building roads bad? Oh, somebody said Sanya's giving me a reason why they're good. It's easy to travel by road because you don't have to book tickets. So if you compare to a train, that's a good point, right? You don't need a ticket to go on the road, where it's where you do on a train. So it's easier to go on a road. That's a good point. That's a very, very good point, actually. Maybe I'll put easy access compared to trains. Okay, bad, guys, right? Let's go with bad. Exhaust fumes. Mary Jade, thank you. So roads emit more exhaust fumes. I'm actually going to exactly write what you said. That's a very, very good point that you've made. Okay. I'm going to actually put that. Emit more exhaust and pollute more than trains, right? Imagine thousands of cars, millions of cars, even in a local area can pollute. What else? Roads cause, I'm going to say, more congestion. Okay, guys, do you know the word congestion? Congestion means traffic jams. Okay. So the more, if you think about it, the more roads we have, the more cars we have. And the more cars we have, the more traffic jams we have. So that's a reason why roads are bad. That's one reason why the government should not build roads, because it makes more traffic jams. So we can put that in our essay, right? And also, Judith, thank you, Judith, for your excellent point. Roads can have potholes. So roads can disintegrate with time. Do you know what disintegrate means, guys? Disintegrate means fall apart. Okay, break down. Judith said the potholes can occur over time, and that's true. Of course, we could argue, on the other hand, that railways could also disintegrate over time, and if not maintained properly, we can also have problems with them. But that's a good point. Now, we have our brainstorm here, guys. So we've got railways here. I'm just going to put that in bold. And we've got roads here. So here's our question. Let's go back and take a look. Governments should spend money on railways rather than roads. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? Now I'm going to start writing. What do we have to do first when we write an IELTS essay? After we've done our brainstorming, after we come up with our ideas, what do we do next? We write our introduction. Okay. Writing the introduction is easy because all you need to do is paraphrase the question. To make a good IELTS Task 2 essay introduction, you must paraphrase the question. Governments should spend money on railways rather than roads. When I say paraphrase, I mean write the same thing in a different way. Okay, so we have our brainstorming ideas. Let's begin. Okay, I'm going to start writing my essay now. Okay. Governments should spend money on railways rather than roads. To paraphrase, you have to use synonyms. Synonyms are words which have the same meaning, but they're different words. So I'm going to start with governments. Now, if you want to paraphrase governments, you can. How could you do it? You could say something like governing bodies, for example. Okay, governing bodies, people in charge. I'm going to stick with governments. I think that's okay. Okay, governments should spend money on railways rather than roads. Governments should spend money on. Governments ought to. Ought to instead of should. Similar, the same meaning. Okay. Governments ought to. Authorities, somebody's suggested. That's a good idea, Judith, all right? Governments ought to. So you could have authorities, we could have governing bodies, we could have people in charge, we could have authorities. I'll stick with governments for now. Governments ought to fund. Ought to fund. Instead of spend money on, I put fund. Is that a good way to put it? Yeah, I think that's okay. Fund rail travel by rail. Oops. Instead of railways, I put travel by rail rather than roads. Rather than, as opposed to road networks or road travel. You could say instead. It doesn't matter too much. So I'm trying to write this first sentence in a different way as my introduction. Okay. In this essay, I will look at both sides and give my opinion. Okay, there you go. So that's our introduction, all right, basic introduction. We might change one or two things later on, but let's start with that as a basic introduction. So I've paraphrased the first line, and then I've put, in this essay, I'll look at both sides and give my opinion. It says, to what extent do you agree or disagree? I'm going to put my opinion at the end of the essay. Okay. Hello, Heidi. Is it Heidi del Rio Cristobal? How are you doing? Thanks for joining the essay writing lesson, Task 2 IELTS, Task 2 live lesson. We're just writing our introduction now. Okay, we did our brainstorming where we come up with our ideas that we're going to put into our essay. Now we're on to our introduction. So governments ought to fund travel by rail as opposed to road networks. In this essay, I will look at both sides and give my opinion. Now, I think I'm going to add something at the beginning, okay? Many people believe Oops. That's, I'm going to put this, and then at the end I can put my opinion, can't I? In this essay, I will look at both sides and give my opinion. Okay, so what have I done? One more time, let's recap. This first line is essentially paraphrasing this first line here. And then I just put a little marking sentence like this so I can carry on with my essay. Okay. So let's start with railways. Let's start our first paragraph, which is about railways. Okay. So railways, firstly, railways are good because, what should we put? They can connect cities quickly and easily. This means commuters, I'm using a new computer today, guys, with a different keyboard, so that's why my typing is not very good. You have to excuse me. Railways are good because they can connect cities quickly and easily. This means commuters and travelers can move between places with minimal efforts. Secondly, railways are less damaging to the environment than roads, because cars emit fumes. I'm going to put more fumes. More fumes. Okay, great. On the other hand, now this is where we're going to, so we talked about why railways are good, and now we're going to put, for balance in the railways paragraph, we're going to say the negative points of railways. This is how I'm going to construct my essay today, guys. There may be other ways to, well, there are other ways to construct the essay. You can go railways, you can talk about railways and just say all of the good things, and then you can talk about roads and say all of the bad things. You could probably go with two separate paragraphs. You could do a good paragraph and a bad paragraph, and you could talk about within that, you could talk about railways and roads, what's good in one paragraph and then what's bad about both in the next paragraph. I like to do a balanced type of essay, okay, where you talk about both in each paragraph and you say the good things and the bad things, and then, you know, your opinion at the end, okay. Okay, so railways are good, or government should spend money on railways, is what I'm saying, because they connect cities quickly and easily. This means commuters and travellers can move between places with minimal effort. Secondly, railways are less damaging to the environment than roads because cars emit more fumes. On the other hand, railways are noisy and people who live nearby may suffer from this. Also, what else can we say? What was the other point? Oh, they're expensive to construct. Also, railways are extremely expensive to build, and this may be a drain on government funds. Okay, all right, cool. So that's my first paragraph. I've got my introduction, Remember what we did with that, guys? We took our question, first line of the question, we rephrased it, we paraphrased it, we used synonyms, and then we kind of gave a little second line about what you're going to do in the essay. Then my first paragraph here is talking about railways and the good and bad points, and I'm going to move on and talk about the good and bad points of roads. Okay, secondly, or maybe we can say on the other, roads also, maybe we can say constructing more roads could also be, sorry about my typing, could also be beneficial. That's corrected it for me. Good. Okay, let's take a little pause for a second. All right, guys, and we'll see how we're doing. How's everybody doing out there? How are you guys? Are you enjoying your Sunday? Are you having a nice weekend? Where are you from? Put where you're from in the comments, guys. I want to know where everybody's from, who's watching. All right. Where are you guys from? By the way, I'm just to remind you, my name's Nick. I'm from the UK. All right. So I'm from a place called Bristol in England. Have you guys ever been to England? Let me know. Give me a comment. All right. And tell me where you're from. I'm interested to know where people are from who are watching. All right, so this is the ISP IELTS live writing lesson. Okay. Just to remind you, we have got other lessons available. So have a look here during the week. We do lessons on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on Zoom. These are, again, live lessons with me, teacher Nick. They're at 5 p.m. Korea time, and they're only $1. Can you believe it, guys? It only costs $1 to join the lesson. Okay, we're doing writing, listening, and reading throughout the week. Follow the links or send me a message to get involved. They're only $1 each, so a really, really good value. And really good value. Anyone can join. Okay, from anywhere in the world. This is my idea. I want anybody to be able to join my lessons for a really good price, for a really cheap price. I don't really want money to be a problem. I want you to be able to join me. You know, if you can't go to an English school, English academy, you can come and join me, online for a good price. So, I mean, it's really cheap. But the way that I want to do it is I want to have a lot of students who only pay a little bit. In that way, it'll work, So we got, okay, Judith says, she came to Slough. She was in Slough in 2011. And she says she's watching from Ghana. All right, great. It's great. It's really cool. People from everywhere watching this video. Thanks, guys. So with that out the way, we're going to move on and we're going to finish off our essay. So we have our introduction and we talk about railways. Now I'm going to talk about roads. Constructing more roads could also be beneficial. In the future, the number of cars will rise exponentially. So more roads will need to be built to accommodate oops, these vehicles. As well as this, what was our other point? Why roads were good? Oh, they're more democratic. Okay, fine. So as well as this, roads can be considered to be more democratic than railways because many people live near road networks and have access or better access to them. My point being, and you may disagree with me, but that's fine, that the train access to trains is limited to people who live near trains, train stations, train lines, and things like that. Whereas, many more people live next to roads than trains. So we talk about good things about roads. What about bad things about roads now? We said that they pollute and they cause more traffic jams. Okay, so bad things about roads. However, roads can be considered. Roads are bad because cars cause pollution and damage the environment. Oops, spelling problem. As well as this, the increase in roads will lead to more congestion and traffic problems in towns and cities. Good. All right. Well, there we have it, guys. Those are our two body paragraphs. And we're going to move on and talk about and do our conclusion. So let's have a look at the conclusion. Overall, I believe that, and let's go back to the question, make sure that we're referencing the question. Governments should spend, I believe that governments, oops, sorry, spelling's bad, should spend, spend money on railways rather than roads because they are fast and better for the environment. Okay, cool. Okay, so let's take a look. How are we doing word-wise? Okay, so we've got 210 words, so we're going to have to add a little bit, guys. We're a little bit short. We're a little bit short of words. Remember, it has to be how many words? 250. So let's make sure we can, let's bulk it up a bit. So first, railways are good because they can connect cities quickly and easily. This means commuters and travellers can move between places with minimal effort. Secondly, railways are less damaging to the environment than roads because cars emit more fumes and more people can travel on trains, without polluting the environment. Okay, so we're just adding some more. We're bulking up our word count. On the other hand, railways are noisy and people who live nearby may suffer from this. Also, railways suffer from this. Let's say that they may also protest the building of new railways near their houses. Also, railways are extremely expensive to build, and this may be a drain on government funds. Okay. Constructing more roads could also be beneficial. In the future, the number of cars will rise exponentially, so more roads will need to be built to accommodate these vehicles. As well as this, roads can be considered to be more democratic than railways because many people live near road networks and have better access to them. However, roads are bad because cars cause pollution and damage the environment with their emissions. As well as this, the increase in roads will lead to more congestion and traffic problems in towns and cities, meaning that eventually a new solution will need to be found. Okay, we're saying that, if roads are not the solution because they cause so much pollution and traffic, what is going to be the new solution? Okay, so let's have a look at our word count now. Fingers crossed we've got to 250. 247, oh no, we're 3 words away. What can we do, guys? Let's go. Let's just be cheeky and add some extra words to get us up to our 250 targets. And I think we're there. We'll be there. Okay. All right, let me just put this all down onto one page so I don't have to kind of go up and down too much. Let's review. Oh wait, what did we do? First of all, we had a brainstorm session. Okay, we looked at the question, we identified the key words, 2 sides, railways and roads. We know that the question is about that we know that our essay is going to have to talk about both of these. Okay, governments should spend money on railways rather than roads. So we know that in our essay we have to basically give reasons why railways are a good choice and why roads are a good choice to spend money on. Yeah? So think of it that way. Why is it a good idea? Why is it a good choice for governments to spend money on this or this? So we brainstormed the good and the bad points of both. Okay? Some of our ideas are good, some of our ideas are not so good. Of course, your ideas need to be decent in the IELTS exam, but I would say that it's more about how you construct your paragraphs and how you use your ideas than what the actual ideas themselves. Remember, the examiner doesn't need to agree with your opinion. You can have a totally opposite view to the examiner's personal opinion. It doesn't matter. Okay, as long as you can show that your thinking is logical and joined up, that you had good ideas, and that you were able to put them together into a paragraph. That's really the key. The key, right? So after we brainstormed some ideas, we came up and we decided, okay, we're going to write our introduction. Introduction is based on the question. Remember the paraphrase. Take the words, how can you rewrite them in a different way? So instead of governments should spend money on railways rather than roads, we had many people believe that governments ought to fund travel by rail as opposed to road networks. It's this saying the same thing, but in a different way, okay? And then I said in this essay, I'll look at both sides and give my opinion. So that's the way that I chose to approach the question. And then I moved on and I looked at railways first, and I looked at the good points of railways because they can connect cities, towns, and villages quickly and easily, and they can they're less damaging to the environment. And then I looked at the bad things. They're noisy and they're expensive. So in each paragraph I have a balance. I'm balancing the good points and the bad points, right? And then roads, I said, you know, there's going to be more cars in the future, so we need more roads. And I also said, you know, that it's more democratic. Most people live near roads compared to railways, so therefore it's better to build more roads. It's more fair, and more people have access. On the other hand, they're bad because they pollute and they create congestion and traffic jams. So I'm trying to you know, balance both sides, and then our conclusion, we give our opinion. Okay. Overall, I believe, so because it's all about what you think, right? I ask you, what do you think about this question? Okay, it says, to what extent do you agree? That basically means, what's your opinion? I believe that government should spend money on railways rather than roads because they're fast and better for the environment. It doesn't really matter which side you take. Doesn't matter. Okay, just choose one and use the points that you come up with to create some paragraph to support that. Okay. All right, guys. Good. So let me just zoom out. Hopefully you can still see it there. There's my essay. We just managed to squeeze it into 250 words. We were a little bit short on words, but we're going a bit fast, so that's why. Okay. Good, guys. All right, thanks very much. We probably finished the live lesson there for today. Okay, thank you for joining. I'm sorry about all the technical problems. We've got internet problems, we've got computer problems, all sorts of things. We will have another lesson same time next Sunday. Okay, so if you're able to join me for another lesson next Sunday, I'll try and make it around 5 p.m. Korea time next Sunday. Okay, we'll probably do another writing lesson. Probably go for a task 1, maybe a bar chart or line graph. Actually, if you have any particular suggestions or things that you would like me to do in the lesson, feel free to message me after we finish. Okay, and yeah, great, guys. Thanks very much for watching. And I see Alexa's. Hello, Alexa. How are you doing? And Sanya says, I like your way of teaching. Thank you very much, Sanya. And thanks for coming and watching. I really appreciate it. And I really hope you can come to the next live lesson next Sunday. I'll be watching out for you in the comments. Okay, guys. Obviously, this video will be available for you to see on my Facebook. Okay, so if you want to watch it again, cool. If you never want to see it again, also cool. All right, guys, thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next